Debugging. Now, if you're like me, you probably hate debugging too. One of the most frustrating parts of debugging is to find where a specific error originated from. Over the next few minutes, we'll cover a very useful tool in Apigee Edge, the Trace tool. The Trace tool is one of the features of Apigee Edge that our clients love. It is a tool built directly into the Apigee Edge UI and can be used to debug your API proxy by providing you with a visual diagram of every policy and action being executed during the call. To start things off, let's navigate to the specific API proxy we want to trace. The API proxies are listed under the Develop menu. Select the specific API proxy you would like to trace and go to the API proxy details. From here, click on the Trace tab on the upper right-hand corner. Now we're in the Trace tool. First off, ensure that you are in the correct environment by verifying the Deployment to Trace drop-down menu. In order to start the trace, click on the Start Trace Session button located on the top. Now we've turned on the trace. I will now make a call to this API off-screen. See how we now have a new entry in the Transaction menu on the left? This was the API call that I just made. By clicking on a specific transaction from the transaction list, a full end-to-end view of the call will appear. We call this the transaction map. From here, you can view every step in your API proxy. The top half shows the request flow. This is the flow that Apigee Edge goes through before making the call to the target server. Here, you will find many policies related to traffic management, JSON to XML payload conversions, and others. The bottom half shows the response flow. Once you have the response from the target, you may want to cut down the payload size, store a response in cache, or transform the XML response back to JSON. The response flow shows all the policies being executed before delivering the response back to the application. By clicking on the icon associated with the policy, you bring up the phase details located on the bottom of the screen, which lists the information about the proxy's internal processing, including variables that were set, request and response headers, and much more. So that was a very brief glimpse into the Trace tool provided with Apigee Edge. Whether you're an API engineer, a QA tester, or an ops specialist, Trace will be your primary tool for troubleshooting issues with your API proxy. We hope you take the time to play around with the Trace tool. We find it very useful and we use it all the time. Thanks.